Hey TV fans, welcome to Tori Talks TV. I'm Tori and this is my husband Brian. Milo is off tonight. We're going to be talking about Amazing Race Season 32, Episode 12 called Run on Your Tippy Toes. Sorry we're a little late getting this out. Okay, so we have our Final Four and our Final Four starts this leg of the race and ends it in the Philippines. So let's do a little fun fact alert. So the Philippines, okay, one of the first countries to adopt texting and is now known as the texting capital of the world. I was pretty surprised by that.
I thought it was going to be the U.S.
Yeah, right? So that was kind of cool. So this was really neat. This was the first time they ever did this. So they did a city sprint with no roadblocks or detours. So they had to do every challenge as a team.
Yep.
Did you like that?
I thought it was interesting. I thought I actually like it more than the regular ones because there's just no interruptions. There's no like backstabbing or anything like that.
It moved along quicker, right?
May the best person win.
And they ended right where they started. So that was also very neat. All right, another fun fact, that Waze app, they once called Manila the worst traffic in the world.
Yeah.
So that...
Even more than Los Angeles and San Francisco.
That's kind of crazy, right? So they had to start off with, like, they were in, like, a bus and that they had to, like, do a drive-by and catch the clue.
From the guy.
Which was a little difficult.
I think that's my calling.
Oh my gosh, you should totally do that. Right? You were meant to do that job. So he was so cute. And, like, if it is the worst traffic, wouldn't you love to see that friendly face?
Yes.
Yes, look how good you are. You're a natural. I'm really proud of you. All right, so Will and James had a little bit of trouble with it, and they were not happy about it. They were kind of snappy with their driver, yeah?
Yeah, they're very aggressive.
A little short.
A little short,
yeah. All right, so then they had to go, and they had to do a little race on heels. Everybody did such a good job.
Well, that was weird. I would have twisted my ankle for sure.
No injuries to report. I was waiting for that. I was totally waiting for that. But no, everything...
Especially those big dudes.
I know, right? I mean, they did surprisingly well. Makes you wonder.
A little weird.
Yeah. All right, and then they had to go and they had to find a dragon and put their hand in the dragon's mouth. Which
was it a lion?
Oh. Was it a lion? It just seems like you shouldn't be doing that.
Dragon lion.
Yeah, so that was cool. And then they had to go and feed the horses. They had to make their little feed and then give it to them. That was super cute. But let's talk about, like, the most exciting part of this episode was the music challenge.
That was the most frustrating part of the challenge.
It was. Can you imagine being them? So all the teams were like not having it. They're like, this is never going to happen. This is the worst. And then Lightbulb, the Alliance of Three, was like, let's just work together, get ourselves to Final Three, which is what they want, and then leave Gary and DeAngelo to eat our dust. So I did feel really bad for Gary and DeAngelo, because I know they felt kind of betrayed.
I felt betrayed.
He's upset about it. So I don't blame Gary and DeAngelo for doing, like, not wanting to finish the task. They knew at that point it's over. I'm not going to waste any more energy. Yeah, it would be nice to see them, like, follow through, but they took the penalty and that's fine. And we have our Final Three. So unfortunately, Gary and DeAngelo.
Yeah, I wish they would have at least, like, been like true gentlemen and finish the race and not just give up. That's kind of against everything every athlete does. You go hard until the end. You don't just give up. And you don't have a bad attitude about it. It's about finishing the race. It's not about what place you finish. It's about finishing it.
And just to pour salt on that wound, the way DeAngelo reacted when Phil was like, so, did you still enjoy the experience? He was like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, it wasn't even about money for me. He's like, I could have done this on my own dime. And that was really disappointing because they had been our favorite throughout. Yeah. And, like, this kind of killed it. I'm like, man.
Literally killed it, yeah.
Yeah, so, but, I mean, Gary, just to balance them out, he was like, no, I enjoyed myself. And I'm sure DeAngelo was watching this at home and was like, man, I shouldn't have said that. Don't you think?
No, he's got an ego on him. He had an ego the whole time because every time, I actually like their duo a lot because of Gary. It wasn't because of DeAngelo. DeAngelo was always the one that held Gary back. Gary always had the good attitude. Gary was always the one that, like, hey, I'm going to try this. Let's try this. And he's like, and then come on, man. He's like, and then DeAngelo always was like, don't talk to me like that, man. Don't, he's like, you know what I mean? Like, he always was the defensive one. And he just, like, he's got an ego on him for no reason.
Well, I don't know. Is he good? We don't watch football.
How many people do know who he is?
Somebody
saying,
does, I'm sure.
I know a lot of athletes that are very much bigger than him that are way more humble than him.
I think you're really hurt and disappointed by him because he was one of your favorites. So yes, but that's also the way he was feeling. He was hurt probably by the alliance, maybe a little bruised ego from he was this close to making it to Final 3. So I don't know. I'm sure it was upsetting to see, but for him. But let's talk about our Final 3. Okay, so let's talk about who we want to win versus who we think will win.
Beards.
You want them to win and you think they will win.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I want Hung and Chi to win, but I think this is totally outlandish. I think the boyfriends are gonna win.
I want anyone but the boyfriends to win.
Gotcha.
Anyone
okay.
but the boyfriends.
Well, let's break down these teams. Why? Will and James. What do you like? What are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? Go.
Will and James, their strength is they're just good at the game. They're good at the game.
They're strategic.
I get everything about it.
They read their clues.
They read their clues. They do it. They do it right. They're even though they're frustrated, they come back and they got a lot of strengths for them. I just don't like them because of their attitude.
You don't like their attitude.
I don't like the way they act towards other people.
They're a little temperamental.
They're temperamental. They're emotional, and there's nothing wrong with being emotional. They're just not
your flavor.
They do it like if. This is my whole thing. Okay. They gloat when they win. It's like
really?
Like we're better, like children, and like okay, same thing. The Beards, they turned someone around, but they were like, okay, I'm sorry we had to do this, but we had to do it because it's a game strategy. And then the boyfriends are like, we turned him around, like little snobby little kids, and I'm like, grow up.
Yeah.
Grow up, my girls.
They are like I guess they're. People are saying they're the villains of this season. I've just seen some really bad villains on The Amazing Race that they don't really.
Really?
They're okay. Yeah. They're fine. I don't think they're that bad. I think they have played this game very well. I mean, it just shows in their first place finishes. Yeah. So they've done a really good job. Yeah, they're not my favorite personality-wise, but
yeah, personality, I don't like them. Game-wise, I respect them.
Great. Let's talk about the Beards. I think they've had great attitudes. They've been really good to each other.
They've been great to each other, great attitudes.
A lot.
And they're just very straightforward. It's really hard to like. They're like machines. They're like robots. Yeah. It's really hard to personally connect with robots that are just going there and just like kind of just doing it.
All business.
It's all business. Yeah. It's really hard for me personally. I like personality. I like originality, and they're just so boring in my opinion. They're very boring. Like you know what I mean? Like
the Beards.
Yeah.
But you want them to win.
I do want them to win because, but they're just. I wish they were a little bit more personable. But I do want the Beards to win because, again, they're not. I would rather you be that way than be like.
So they're athletes, and those are the athletes.
That's the kind of athletes. Yeah, that's the kind of athletes that I think because they're very respectful. If you lose, you say good game and you move forward.
Yeah, it's a better attitude.
Attitude is everything in this world, man. If you can take one thing from any of Tori Talks TV, just remember that. Attitude is everything.
Yes, and then there's Hung and Chi, who have been really sweet, maybe too helpful to their alliance, and
it's like the boyfriends and Hung and Chi are they're like polar opposites. You know what I mean? Yeah. They do it because they want it for their own gain. They'll even hurt their own game to help someone else, and that's the kind of person you should strive to be. So actually, Hung and Chi might be my favorite.
That has been Milo, our dog's favorite, all along. So, yeah, I don't know. I think that I will be fine with anybody that wins. I would say that Hung and Chi, I don't think they have a very good chance of winning. They're just a little... Anybody but the boyfriends is what I said.
Anybody but the boyfriends.
All right, we'll see. All right, well... Let us know who you want to win versus who you think will win. Comment below. And then like and subscribe while you're at it. I can't wait.
Actually, Hung and Chi might be my favorite.
He's still thinking. About Hung and Chi. All right. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you next time. Bye-bye.